When Foamstars was released in February of 2024, there was initial interest in the game. But what was clearly obvious about the particular game were its extraordinary resemblances to Nintendo's Splatoon franchise. While Square Einx was quick to distance the potentially new intellectual property from any claims of copyright similarities to Splatoon, receptions from critics and gamers knew better. But the speculative scenario is this: Foamstars was essentially a Splatoon clone, but we all knew that. When Square Einx announced Foamstars, there were immediate opinions that it would just be another Splatoon clone. Initial footage relating to the game presented a very colorful and impacted method of display, but through these first examples of gameplay footage, even before official trailers concluded, those whom were watching inevitably thought of Splatoon. From the very notion of a 4 against 4 multiplaying experience, where characters use guns to shoot against each other until one team wins or players survive against others. Others had the shooting combat be something similar to that of Overwatch, from characters being referred to as heroes in the game, even having abilities with related cooldown times once used. Even attack-based characters, defense-based characters, and specific details from gun speed, even intensity for the weapons. From information now known, there were even other features from Foamstars that had to be removed or altered to avoid further innuendos or even undeniable references to Splatoon. Foamstars was initially released on a PlayStation Plus service, which meant that for members, it was an automatically free game to play, which Square Einx hoped that with the massive exposure to such a wide demographic pool of potential players, success of the new game would be a guaranteed fact. But the game, as well as those involved with it, became the targets of skepticisms and even criticisms over using artificial intelligence for actually using generated images within the game. After its release, the sentiment about Foamstars and its clear and undeniable references to other games released before it and the basic rip-off aspects of Splatoon did not disappear. The sentiments that were lingering among the gaming community only increased or even intensified. Interesting theories had it that when the game was being developed in 2023, Square Einx intentionally made a video game similar to Splatoon because the company knew the success that Nintendo had with the unique premise of Splatoon. It was in 2020 that Square Einx published Marvel's Avengers, which eventually became an extraordinary disaster for the company, especially with the funds needed to secure Marvel's superhero likenesses from Marvel Comics Group. It was in 2022 when Babylon's Fall was released. Square Einx was also interested in making a new intellectual property to potentially earn more revenue for the company, which through the 2010s and 2020s were somewhat struggling with properties outside of the Final Fantasy brand. So when Foamstars was developed throughout 2023, with its release in early 2024, analysts knew from previous potential new franchise failures that Foamstar was the third massive failure that Square Einx had in the early 2020s. What was considered to be more than a coincidence is that Splatoon 3 was released in late 2022, but became a massive success for the Switch console through 2023. This was the exact same time that Square Einx announced and developed Foamstars. So combining the facts of Square Einx desiring to expand its revenue from other intellectual properties with the phenomenal success of the Splatoon franchise, it's obvious that a clone of the Splatoon concept would have been implemented by Square Einx through Foamstars. In a final act for Foamstars, information of the time reported that once the PlayStation Plus boost for the game's exposure ended, the amount of players associated with the title was decimated, with 94% of the initial gamers who had been a part of the game's launch abandoning it in favor of other titles from PlayStation mere months after the game's release.